Hello everybody, I am back with another review. Today it is going to be of the Microsoft Lumia 640, no longer Nokia. That's been quite old news now. This phone is a year old. Best Buy just had a sale where it was $30, so I couldn't help but pick one up. So as you can see here, it does have the typical removable back, and we do have a SIM card or a SD card slot up to 128 gigs, and the SIM card slot. Again, like almost all of my reviews, I do not use these phones as actual phones, so I do not use a SIM card. Keep that in mind through this review. I'm not going to be able to attest to call quality or like accurately battery life if you're actually using this as a phone. There we have our speaker. It's alright. 8 megapixel camera. The aperture is f2.2. Single LED flash. On the front we have a 0.9 megapixel camera. Relatively slim bezels. And a 5-inch 720p screen. You can't really tell, but there is kind of like a actually you can kind of. There's like a grid pattern if you view the screen in light. It's really weird, but it's not a huge deal. So we're gonna go ahead and pop the battery in here. The battery is 2500 milliamp hour, which is not bad for a budget phone. So the back pops on very nicely, and it is a matte soft touch thing. It's not really soft touch actually, but it is matte, and as you can see, it's been pretty oily. It's still a lot better than most matte things though, to be honest. It's not too bad. Obviously the Microsoft logo, and this is AT&T prepaid for the $30 one was. Up here of course is our earpiece. Down there in the glass you can see the microphone. So on the side we have volume rocker above the power button, which I'm going to go ahead and press that, turn it on. It doesn't do anything when it boots up other than say Microsoft. And there is no camera shutter, which is not a huge deal. This doesn't have an amazing camera, but it would be nice to see. On the bottom we have micro USB. Nothing on the left side, and on the top we have our audio jack. And this phone is 0.35 inches thick. And while this is still booting up, I suppose I can go over the rest of the specs. It is running the Snapdragon 400. Unfortunately, it's not the 410, so it's still 32-bit. And I do have Windows 10 preview on here, so it's not running the Windows 8 that it would come with. Windows 10 without the preview edition should be rolling out in the next couple of weeks or so. Microsoft just started rolling it out. But it has 1 gigabyte of RAM, 8 gigabytes of built-in storage, and I believe that is all that I haven't been over yet. So going to go into the Windows 10, and the viewing angles are pretty good. Very nice. If I had to say, for a $30 phone, they're better than the Moto E that I have. We'll pop into the camera here real quick. It's a pretty decent one, honestly, for a $30 phone especially. As you can see, I'm on a washer here, but the flash works nicely. It does have all of Nokia's, or Microsoft now's, manual controls, so you have manual focus, or that's ISO right there. There's focus. This is only for pictures though. In video, it does do 1080p 30 frames a second, no 60 frames a second unfortunately. And then if you haven't used Windows Phone, you gotta get used to it. That's the main downside of this phone. The front-facing camera is not amazing. It's not terrible though. I've seen worse. So back into the camera, I'll take a single picture here real quick, just so you can kind of get an idea. I mean, granted, I just took a picture of metal with flash. The pictures, I'm sure you can get rid of this in manual stuff. Well, it's taking time to process it. But they seem to have a lot of over sharpening and a lot of noise, so crank the ISO down and increase the shutter speed and you should be fine. But Windows 10, there's not a lot of apps. The interface is a lot better than Windows 8 was, in my opinion. Although this also does have a IPS screen. It's not AMOLED, so this black, well, it is a pretty deep black. You're not getting any extra battery life out of it. The headphone output, I'm pretty pleased with it. You do have plenty of equalizer settings. I had to tune that a little bit to my own liking, but it's not bad. Same thing with the speaker. While you would assume that this would be absolutely terrible, it's honestly not. Although it's not in the most optimal position, it's really not a bad speaker. Couldn't be too disappointed with a couldn't be too disappointed with a $30 phone. But the main crutch of this device is really just the app support. Although Windows Phone may get better in the future, that the emphasis is on may. As you can see, I do have Facebook Messenger, Skype came preloaded. But like if you need something like, I don't know, Google Play, anything really, any Google apps, they don't have Google Play rewards, which is just a nice way to get like free money from doing surveys and such. But overall, for $30, if you really need a phone and you're on AT&T, or if you can get this unlocked, I'm not actually positive on that, this would be a really nice phone if you're fine with the lack of apps. It's built very well. Even if you press in the middle, there's no flex at all. And it does, interestingly enough, support the glance feature, which probably does waste a lot of battery life being not AMOLED at all, and it does have double tap to wake. And I forgot to mention that it does have software buttons, and of course it does support Cortana, which is pretty nice. And I said the bezels were fairly slim earlier. You can attest to that now. I believe it's like a 68% screen to body ratio, which again, not terrible. Pretty good for a budget phone. But that is the Microsoft Lumia 640. If you guys enjoyed this review, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. And if you have not already, subscribe to my channel. It'll help me out a lot. Thank you guys for watching, and you guys have a great day.